Students, we'll start with the next topic, that is crystallization. Okay, so there is one question: how to obtain pure copper sulfate from impure sample. Okay, so there's an activity 2.9. Okay, where you are taking the copper sulfate, okay, and dissolving it in minimum amount of water. Okay, and then you are going to filter it and then cool it. Okay, and then you will have crystals of copper sulfate. This process is called crystallization. Now the crystallization method is used to purify solids. For example, the salt we get from seawater has many impurities in it. Okay, now to remove these impurities we use this process of crystallization. Now crystallization is a process that separates a pure solid in form of its crystal from a solution. Okay, so to get pure solid from a solution, okay, we use crystallization. Now this crystallization technique is better than simple evaporation because almost these two techniques are same where heat is involved, but crystallization is better than evaporation. There are two reasons. Okay, the first reason is whenever you are heating, okay, the solids might decompose, okay, and sometimes they might get charred or burnt on heating. Okay, the second point why crystallization is more better than evaporation is some impurities may remain dissolved in the solution even after filtration. So on evaporation these contaminate the solid. Even though we will not know that there are some impurities present, in evaporation certain impurities remain with the solid. Okay, so you will not get pure solid by evaporation. So crystallization is better than evaporation. Now the applications of crystallization is for purification of salt which we get from seawater, separation of crystals of alum. Okay, now alum is also known as fiticry or fatakri, that you use for purification of water. Okay, they are white crystals which you add in water and the impurities that settle down in water. Okay, so for that we use this crystallization. Okay, now that we have completed all the methods of separation, you can choose any one of the methods depending on what substance you have to purify. Okay, now purification is also done in cities for drinking water, that we have already seen in lower class. Okay, now just turn the page and there is an diagram on page number 24, 2.13, how the purification works. Okay, from the reservoir there are two tanks, sedimentation tank and loading tank. Okay, the sedimentation tank allows the solids to settle down, then it is passed to the loading tank where the suspended impurities are settled down, and then it passed to a filtration tank which has got fine sand, gravel and coarse gravel. Okay, it passes through all these layers and then it is chlorinated to kill the bacteria, and then it is sent through the taps to the pipes, to our houses. Okay, now the next topic is physical and chemical change. This also we have seen in lower classes, what are physical changes and what are chemical changes. But just a quick recap: the interconversions of states in a physical changes without change in composition, no change in chemical nature. For example, you have got ice, water, water vapor. Okay, all of them have got different physical look, but chemically they are same. Okay, so no chemical changes occur in physical change, only the outlook or the composition. Okay, for example, if we take water and cooking oil, both of them are liquid. They are having same physical state, but their chemical characteristics are different. Okay. Uh, Now the definition of chemical change, that the change which is brought in chemical properties of a matter, of a substance. Okay, that is called as a chemical change. A chemical change also can be called as a chemical reaction. Okay, but the difference between physical change and the chemical change: in physical change there is no difference in chemical nature of the substance, only the physical look changes, while in chemical change you have got change in chemical properties. For example, there's one example. There's a question asked in your textbook that burning of a candle shows both physical and chemical changes. Can you think how and why? I'll just give a small hint. Like for example, if you look at the wax of the candle, okay, it's in solid state, right? And as you burn it, what happens? The solid turns into liquid. So there's a physical change taking place there. Simultaneously, there is a chemical change also taking place. That is, when the candle is burned, it reacts with oxygen. Okay, so it is carbon plus oxygen getting carbon dioxide. You can see the black soot coming out of the candle. So that both the changes are taking place simultaneously when you are burning a candle. Okay, thank you.